Welcome to back. In previous lecture we discussed about the that is nitrogen cycles, and we see that how nitrogen replenish or recycle to the various processes by the organisms, that is biotic factors and abiotic factors. Now next topic of our syllabus, that is the oxygen cycle. Okay, similar to nitrogen, here we can see how oxygen is recycled through the various organisms, through the lithosphere, to the hydrospheres. Okay, you know that the oxygen molecular formula is the O2. Okay, this consists of oxygen molecules, they binds together and they form the oxygen molecules. Oxygen cycle is the gaseous cycles. Oxygen is gas, you know that this is the gaseous cycles which describe the translocation of oxygens. This describe the transition or translocation of oxygen within three main reservoirs. These oxygen cycles indicate that the translocation, that is the transfer of oxygens within the three main reservoir, that is the three main air we can see, that is the reservoirs such as the atmosphere. First is the air. In the air, how in the air the oxygen present total biological matter existing on the earth surface. You know that those living organisms present on the earth, they require oxygen for the respirations. Therefore, the total biological matter exists on the earth surface and the lithospheres, and in the lithosphere, that means in the presence of the rock. Okay, in these three main reservoirs, that is first is the atmosphere, that is air, then total living matter, biological matter existing on the earth, and third is the lithospheres. And in these three reservoirs, how the recycling, how the oxygen is present and how this recycle take place, we can see in this topic. The oxygen found in the free state in the atmosphere, as you know that in the air, in the atmosphere, oxygen present in the free state. Okay, that is in the form of O2. Free state means that is a free state, that is they are never bonds with other molecule, that is O2, and combined statement when they bonds with the hydrogen, they form the oxygen or NO2. This is the combiner state. This is a free state, this is a combiner stage of the oxygens. Now free oxygen, that is the O2, is present in the air, and these are present in the plenty amount, that is 21%. Okay, and nitrogen is 78%, and this oxygen is 21%. It is liberated by the product of photosynthesis, hence photosynthesis is considered as the chief driving factor of oxygen cycles. आता तुम्ही बऱ्याच वेळेला म्हणजे आपण प्लांट फिजिओलॉजीमध्ये असेल 11वी-12वी मध्ये फोटोसिंथेसिस प्रोसेस आपण शिकलो. फोटोसिंथेसिस प्रोसेस इज नथिंग बट द कन्वर्जन ऑफ द लाइट एनर्जी into that is a chemical energy, that is carbohydrate. Now what happen in these reactions? ओके, एवढी इझी रिॲक्शन आहे का की टेस्ट ट्यूब घेतली, त्याच्यामध्ये आपण CO2 म्हणजे कार्बन डायऑक्साईड घेतला. ओके, त्यानंतर त्यामध्ये वॉटर घेतलं, त्यानंतर त्याला लाईट दिली की त्यापासून कार्बोहायड्रेट आणि ऑक्सिजन मॉलिक्यूल तयार झाला. इतकी रिॲक्शन सोपी आहे काही. ओके, नॅचरली हे बघितलं, ही जर रिॲक्शन असली तर ही खूप एक मोठी प्रोसिजर आहे प्लांटमधली. दिस इज युनिक प्रोसिजर वी कॅन की याच्यामुळे जग पूर्ण अस्तित्वात आलं ह्या प्रोसेसमुळे. तर याच्यामध्ये सुरुवातीला काय येतं की कसं ऑक्सिजन लिबरेट होतो हे आपण बघूया. तर ज्यावेळेस ह्या रिॲक्शनमध्ये इथे सांगितलं की O2 लिबरेट होतो, कार्बन डायऑक्साईड, H2O, CHO आणि H2. ह्याच्यामध्ये काय की रुबिस्को जे एन्झाईम आहे ते काय तयार करतं, ते कार्बन डायऑक्साईडला ह्या फिक्स करतं. ओके, आता हे CO2 कोण फिक्स करतं हे तुम्हाला समजलं. त्यानंतर हा H2Oचा कुठं यूज होतो, तर क्लोरोप्लास्टमध्ये जो थायलॉइड मेम्ब्रेन असतो त्याच्यामध्ये, त्या थायलॉइड मेम्ब्रेन्समध्ये हे फोटोलिसिस ऑफ द वॉटर टेक प्लेस. म्हणजे काय फोटोलिसिस म्हणजे काय, फोटोलिसिस ऑफ द H2O टेक प्लेस. जी सूर्याची किरण आहे त्याच्यामुळे काय वॉटरचं फोटोलिसिस होतं, म्हणजे दॅट मीन्स H2O इज कन्वर्टेड इंटू 2H+O. इथून काय होतो, ऑक्सिजन लिबरेटेड होतो. इथून काय होतो, हा ऑक्सिजन विल बी द लिबरेटेड. दॅट मीन्स 4 हायड्रोजन आयन अँड 2 ऑक्सिजन मोलिक्यूल विल बी द liberated. Okay, likewise in the chloroplast, that is the thylakoid membrane, oxygen is liberated to the photolysis of the water take place. This is the importance, you know that where the oxygen is liberated. It is liberated by the product of photosynthesis, and photosynthesis is considered as the chief driving factor of the oxygen cycles. Oxygen is also added to the atmosphere after photolysis of the atmospheric water molecule. ओके, इथं काय होतं, फोटोलिसिस ऑफ वॉटर तयार होतं, त्यापासून ऑक्सिजन लिबरेट होतो आणि तो आपल्याला रेस्पिरेशनसाठी मिळतो. दॅट्स मीन्स प्लांट टेकिंग कार्बन डायऑक्साइड अँड रिलीज द ऑक्सिजन, जे त्याचं हे मिनिंग होतं. Nitrous oxide, then another is the main important, that is a molecule, that is a nitrous oxide, that is a NO2. By the high energy ultraviolet, that when high energy ultraviolet puts on these nitrogen oxides, the oxygen molecule will be the liberated. The UV radiation split water H2O molecule into hydrogen and O2 and nitrous oxide NO2 molecule into N and O2. Likewise, from this ultraviolet ray, this oxygen as well as the oxygen from the water and oxygen from the nitrous oxide will be liberated in the air. That means from the combined state, oxygen get liberated in the free state. Okay, we can see here there are two reactions. 2H2O, that is the water molecules, this is the water molecule 2H2O. UV radiation, here we cannot say UV radiation, here we can see the light. Okay, light. Okay, UV is a very dangerous for ultraviolet rays, we cannot say there the UV radiations, because the ozone layers are present, they prevent the UV rays, therefore only useful light is comes on the ground, and this useful light comes on the line and photosynthesis take place, and that is for hydrogen ion and O2 will be the liberated. Then nitrous oxides, here we can see this will be the happens on the upper layer of in the atmospheres where UV rays are present, for nitrogen and O2 will be the liberated. This is two important reaction in the oxygen cycle. The atmospheric oxygen is replenished by the light of photosynthesis occur during in green plants and photolytic breakdown of atmospheric water and nitrous oxide molecules by UV radiations. You know that already, I told that. The plants, animals and microbes consume atmospheric oxygen for respirations. And during the night, at the night when during the plant, what they do, they take the carbon dioxide and O2 will be the released. They use carbon dioxide for the formation of the food in the form of starch. This is known as the photosynthesis process. This photosynthesis is done in the during the day, but at the night respiration process take place in the plants. That means plant take O2 and release the carbon dioxide. Okay, and what animal doing? Animal doing take oxygens and release the carbon dioxide. Same microbes are doing this in this manner, consume atmospheric oxygen for respiration. In respirations, oxidative breakdown of carbon. Now, what happen in the respirations? As you see in the plant, this respiration mainly take place into the mitochondria. You know that the where respiration take place. In the respiration take place in plant and in animals. These are take place into the mitochondria, where the breakdown of the starch or glucose starch take place. In respiration, oxidative breakdown of the carbohydrate take place, which result in the liberation of energy. This liberation of the energy in the form of ATP molecules. You know that ATP molecules are NADH molecules. Okay. In respiration, oxidative breakdown of the carbohydrate take place within, which result in the liberation of the energy and molecules of carbon dioxide and water molecules. When this starch, this is the structure of the glucose. When glucose is used in the respiration through the glycolysis process, then in the mitochondria citric acid take place. Then from the carbon dioxide will be released, as well as the water molecule will be the release, and energy in the form of ATP and NADH will be the release. Likewise, then another water molecule will be the come. Then the water molecules used for the photosynthesis, then oxygen will be the liberated. This happen regularly in manners. Then 1 minute. Okay, there is some technical problems. The lithospheres also utilize, as you see, lithospheres when free oxygen is present in the atmospheres, the lithospheres, that means the various rocks present on the earth, they also use the oxygen. You know that during the rainy season there is oxidation process take place, ज्याला आपण गंजणे हा प्रकार म्हणतो की जर लोखंड आपण बाहेर ठेवलं तर ते सहज गंजतं. The lithospheres also utilize atmospheric oxygen for the chemical weathering and surface reaction. Formation of iron oxide is an example of the chemical weathering. You know that when free oxygen is present in the air, rock consists of the number of the elements. This will consist of Fe, Mn, manganese, okay, likewise calcium. This will be the minerals are present in the rocks. When this combined with oxygen, chemical reaction will take place and oxide of these elements will be the forms. For example, when in the rock ferrous is present, this ferrous react with the free oxygens and they from the ferrous oxides. This is known as the chemical weathering. You can call it as a chemical weathering. We will see in the first chapter. The lithospheres utilize atmospheric oxygen for chemical weathering and surface reactions. This in the lithospheres, atmospheric oxygen for the chemical reaction is chemical weathering साठी यूज केला जातो, and as well as the surface reaction. Formation of iron oxides, when these react with element, that is when oxygen react with ferrous, they from the ferrous oxides. This is the example of the chemical weathering. This 4FeO ferrous oxide is when combined with O2, they from the ferrous oxides. Chemical weathering. Oxygen is a cyclode between lithospheres and biospheres. Okay, then this oxygen recycling will be the take place. Marine organisms, we can now say the on the earth, on the lithospheres. Now in the hydrospheres, how will be the recycling of the O2 take place? We can see here. Marine organisms form shell of calcium carbonate. Those marine organisms present inside, they from the shells of the calcium carbonates around them. This consists of the three molecules of the oxygens, calcium carbonate. After the death of this marine organism, when they get dead, the shell get deposited. This shell get deposited on shallow sea floor. They get deposited in the shallow waters and converted to the limestone sedimentary rock of the lithospheres. When these shells deposited, okay, there will the press on the other elements on this, and they from the sedimentary rock of the calcium carbonate, that is of lithospheres. Weathering process, and when this rock will be the forms, then another process, chemical process will be the chemical weathering will be the take place at this place. Therefore, weathering process initiated by the organisms make the oxygen free from the lithospheres. When weathering process take place at on this sedimentary rock, which consists of the calcium carbonate, then oxygen molecule will be the liberated. Oxygen free from the lithospheres and add to the oxygen pool of the atmosphere. In this way, simple yet virtual O2 cycle is maintained in the ecosystem. Likewise, this oxygen cycle is maintained. We can see here diagrammatically. Here we can see this is the oxygen. First of all, we can see here. 1 minute. Okay, 1 minute. Oxygen cycle. This is the hydrogen. Oh, sorry. This is the H2O water molecules. When in the plant photosynthesis process, photolysis of water take place. This is the photolysis of water. Jala light reaction म्हणतो. This happen into the light, and it will be from the atmospheric oxygens. When these atmospheric oxygens are used in the during the night, this atmospheric oxygen is used for the plant and animal respiration, and then carbon dioxide. Okay, this carbon dioxide and water molecule is released. Then this water molecule is for the photolysis process. Then here we can see like this wise this oxygen replenished or recycled. Then organic molecules, this is the carbon dioxide fixed by the produced coenzymes. Then this is known as the plant photosynthesis process. Then dark reaction take place. Okay, dark reaction, that means Kelvin cycles. Then in the Kelvin cycles, this starch molecule, that is glucose molecule, will be formed. These glucose molecules will be used in the glycolysis process as well as the citric cycles, and where plant and animal respiration take place, and carbon molecules will be the release. Carbon and oxygen molecule will be the release. Likewise, in this carbon is used in the another plant photosynthesis reaction. Water is used in the photosynthesis process, and oxygen will be the liberated. Oxygen will be the fixed. Likewise manner, oxygen is the recycles. Okay, this is about the cycle, oxygen cycle. We can stop here.